Get on up here. Play for us. Driven out to left field and deep. Going back, Alvarez turning, looking. Welcome to the big league. See ya. A home run for Domínguez in his first big league at bat.
For about 24 hours, kind of very on the last 5-6 hours where we thought it was in physical review, is complete. Juan Soto has been traded to the Yankees along with Trent Grisham. I strongly believe it is the 5 names we heard all afternoon.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the newest edition of the Bronx Muchachos podcast. I'm your host, Mark. Tonight, we got the family together. We got Dave.
What's going on, everybody?
We got Danny. And we got Alex.
Hello, everybody.
All right, guys. All right. Yo, you guys know where we're at by now. Check us out all audio platforms. Give us some love out there. And, yo, everybody watching, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, join us in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking, man. Come on now. So, I am quite pissed about.
Where do you even start?
I'm trying to be nice, trying to be good about this. You know, as much as I'm pissed, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised Clay Holmes is doing Clay Holmes things. We saw this happening. Everyone knew what was going on. He blew another save last night with a grand slam, giving that up. But I'm not even blaming Clay Holmes anymore. I can't do it because I'm actually blaming Aaron Boone because Aaron Boone should know better at this point. He's putting him in this position, knowing what the outcome is, and has not veered off of this until now. So this all goes on Aaron Boone because he's supposed to have the lineup. He's supposed to be the one in charge of everything. He knows that he shouldn't be putting Clay Holmes out there right now, yet he keeps doing it, which means he doesn't have a finger on the pulse. And the moments now, we talked about this many times, that Aaron Boone lets the moments get too big for him. Like he's not prepared for these moments, and it's kind of rearing its ugly head again. That the moments are right now are getting too big for Aaron Boone, and he's not managing the team as loose as he was early in the season, and he's wound a little bit too tight, and he doesn't know how to adjust on the fly. So this is a Boone thing. So if anybody's got something different to say, please leave it up to you. I'll leave it out there for everyone else to kind of discuss that. But
I mean, that game I was looking at my television in a total state of disbelief. Like, did this seriously happen? Did we just get walked off with a grand slam, right? And I know everything leading up to that was not Clay's fault. You know, DJ loses that ball, that chopper in the lights. You know, Jake Cousins comes out there, walks a couple of dudes, you know. But I have a bad feeling bringing him in a one-run game. It's like, all right, well, how's this going to go, right? And then, I mean, they were dodging this thing for a while towards the end of the game, and I'm putting it on the entire bullpen. But the guy that, you know, put the nail in the coffin was the guy on the mound in the ninth. So he bears a lot of the blame because it's his sole purpose to close out a game. That's why he's called a closer. That's what they're supposed to do. What Aaron Boone's doing is the definition of fucking insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different result. That is the straight up definition of insanity. This is insane. Like, the fact that we're a game under 500 in our last 70 games is absolutely pathetic. The series that they are losing lately is pathetic to bottom feeder teams, right? You know, this shouldn't be happening. And then we got Jasson Domínguez down in AAA batting 400, hitting 107 mile an hour singles and mashing multi-run home runs. But we'll stick with the left fielder that's playing with half a leg, apparently. That is stupid. Absolutely stupid and criminal. And I'm almost at the point where I want this team to implode so that way there's some serious change because that's what it's going to take. And I'm I'm just aggravated. I'm pissed off. Like, this shouldn't be happening in September. You shouldn't be saying to a bunch of reporters, and well, we're going to figure it out. We're going to get after it. Dude, it's not April. It's September, and you got about 27 games left to play in the season. No.
We got 22 games left to play, but
whatever it is.
Besides the point. No, I agree that, Aaron Boone needs to be better in these situations. Obviously, if I fail at my job 11 times and I'm told 10 times prior to that, hey, you should be better, throw more strikes, whatever the case may be, of course I'm gonna lose my job, right? In the civilian world, 11 times, geez, like you're out of a job, you're on the street essentially. So it was about time that Clay Holmes did lose his job. I think the thing with Verdugo, I think it's a complete oversight. I also think that they're letting feelings kind of dictate the business of what's going to be happening on the field, and I think that's the wrong way of going about it. Like, at what point in time are we going to reward production? J-Dom, in 54 games down in AAA, 10 homers, 16 stolen bases. He's starting to get on base a lot more. He's got a 370 on base percentage. Imagine that in the middle of our lineup.
I want to add on to that for one quick second. Tonight alone, J-Dom hit a slow dribbler to second base. Guess what he did? He put it on the afterburners and beat the piss out of that ball out. So Ben Rice could hit a 2-run home run right after him.
He didn't walk? He didn't walk? He didn't walk?
Yeah.
No. He didn't slow jog it down. He didn't slow jog it down.
I thought he was supposed to do it. No. I thought from yesterday's game last night that what we saw, that the way you're supposed to go to first base is supposed to walk. Come on.
No.
That's only Verdugo.
No, that's when you get when he gets it back into the big. When he gets back to the big leagues, he does that because Boone allows that.
Okay, because I'm gonna be real. And I quote for Aaron Boone, he's okay. I mean, he's beat up and he's playing his ass off, and he picks his spots. Sometimes I wish it would look a little better on certain ones. I get it. I get the look, but I don't have any issues with how hard he's playing the game. That's our fucking manager.
But then Gleyber gets benched for the same damn thing.
Guess what, though? Guess what? Who's the only one who's actually playing? Gleyber fucking Torres, because he actually got his ass handed down. Okay? Maybe instead of being everyone's fucking friend, be a fucking damn boss and set some asses down. So guess what? They understand. Oh, shit. My job's on the fucking line. Maybe I got to do a little better or I'm going to be fucking cut. How hard is that shit? How fucking hard? Not.
Well, maybe if our co-GM turns around and isn't in the ear of the owner, and it allows it to happen, then things could change.
David, put it up. Put it up now, David, for everyone to see.
Oh, word.
Okay,
thank you for Alex for finding this. You are amazing piece of artwork.
Three motherfuckers up there. Get the fuck out of here.
In case anyone's
no. I'm saying the co-GM is not Brian Cashman in this instance. I'm saying it's Aaron Judge turning around and vouching for Verdugo instead.
So in case
Aaron Judge is turning around, wanted him there the entire time, and he's not going to let him go out.
Mark. Guess what? We're all old enough to know this. Okay, there was Mo, Larry Curly, and guess what? Aaron Judge is going to be Shemp.
So in case if anyone is listening to this tomorrow morning, we have a picture of the Three Stooges, except for Larry, Mo, and Curly. It's Brian Cashman, Hal Steinbrenner, and Aaron Boone. So there we go. Lovely find, sir. Lovely find.
I feel like right now that's going to be a clip on TikTok tomorrow morning now. My fucking rant.
It may be.
Well, we should be putting that clip out on all of our social media.
I mean, your rant would be nothing but silence. I have a beep. It would sound like Morse code.
Whatever right now. I'm sorry.
Oh, man. Yeah, this
you guys
sucks.
are really angry.
Dude, aren't you? Like, doesn't this make your blood just boil a little bit?
Hey, listen, I gotta make sure my blood pressure is down, man. I gotta chill.
Danny, this doesn't make your blood boil just a little bit. Like, they lost a series to the Nationals the White Sox and the Rangers.
No, they beat the White Sox. No, they lost the game in that series, but they
got
beat
beat.
the
They
White
got
Sox
blown
in that
out in one
series.
game.
Maybe
Yeah,
this
Yeah,
is
they
blown
did
out
get
one
blown
game.
out without a.
Oh, hold on. Maybe this
But
stat
so
will help
did
you
the
get this.
Orioles.
Let me
So
give
did
you a
the
stat.
Orioles.
Let me give you a stat. I'll piss you off. Okay, the Yankees have now lost now have 8 losses when leading in the 9th inning or later. Only the Rockies have more. That's from our friend Katie Sharp. She put that out there.
Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah,
No, it's frustrating, but I don't know.
frustrating.
Like it's very frustrating. It's a long season. It's 162, and we spoke about this prior to the show. Like there's so much parity in baseball that literally on any given day, besides the White Sox, well, even the White Sox could win 5 games in a 50-game span. Honestly, they're 5-45, and 2 of those wins came against the Orioles and the Yankees. So it's the Dodgers the other day lost to the Angels. Like, yo, stuff like this happens. What gets me frustrated is the lack of urgency and the sloppy play.
Yes.
So like the
100%.
opponents I really don't care about the opponents. I care more so about how the Yankees are not performing on a daily basis with urgency. That's what's frustrating to me.
No. Dan, you're 1000% right on that area. Okay, but let's be real for a minute. Okay, us four bums, okay, have been saying what they needed to be doing since August, and they are now doing the talk. Oh, well, maybe we should bring up Dominguez now. Oh no, now Clay Holmes shouldn't be the closer now. We were fucking saying Clay Holmes shouldn't be the closer since the beginning of August. Let's be real. We were all in agreement in the beginning of August he shouldn't be a closer anymore.
Well,
and yet they considered that freaking experiment up the whole damn time. And yet when they had the damn chance to change it, to put someone else being closer, they did not get that opportunity at all. Okay, they continue putting out there the stupidity, and as you guys said, okay, idiocy. Okay, he is an idiot, and they're continue doing the same thing over and over again, thinking it's going to change, and it's not. Okay, what is going to happen again is that it's going to be early October, and us four are going to be fucking done, not talking about Yankee baseball, because the teams are going to be out of the fucking playoffs.
Hey, as Mama Guilfoyle just turned around, watch her language.
Oh boy.
I am sorry, Mom.
I already told her, said sorry, Mama. So she put you on notice, Alex. You of all people.
I am sorry.
Usually I'm the one getting yelled at about my
I am pissed.
And to correct myself, the Yankees in their first 70 games were 49-21. In the last 70 were 31-39.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. They still aren't performing to where they're supposed to be performing. They should be doing better. So I don't know. I get loyalty, right? But there's a blind loyalty which people have in others, and that's when they get fired for that blind loyalty. Aaron Boone has a blind loyalty now to certain people, and he shouldn't. And maybe it's not a blind loyalty. Maybe he's told you have to play him. Like maybe he's told you have to play Alex Verdugo because someone wants him playing at all times. He could be told that. He might be told, guess what? DJ's making $15 million a year. You're going to be playing DJ at some point. And he doesn't and he has no choice. It might be that way. Or he might just turn around and say, hey, I'm playing him because he's my guy, and he's been DJ's been the dude for me since I started here. And I'm going to put all my trust in him. You know, it's just what it is. And Aaron Boone, and same thing, Clay Holmes. Oh, he did well for me before. He's going to do well for me again. Guess what? Aaron Boone needs to adjust, and it's something that he does not show that he has the aptitude to do. Sorry to say that, but that's not the guy that can lead the 26 men into October and come out with the ring at the end of it all. Not sold. Haven't been sold since they got him. Kind of waiting for the next run because they have to have someone waiting in the wings for him to take over because the nice guy routines kind of run thin, especially with the fact that it took him forever to get to bench Gleyber Torres after Gleyber Torres was was half-assing it down for plays, down the line, whatever. Verdugo's been doing that. I don't care if he's injured, don't play him. You got to do. You got to do it in triple. You got to do it in AAA. Who's better than him and is ready to play now. And the only reason, and from what my understanding from everything I've been reading, is that the reason why Jasson Domínguez is not up here right now is because they're waiting till after the Cubs series to bring him up, because that's when they could bring him up and will have no impact on his eligibility for next season. The draft pick next season.
With next season.
I don't care about next season. At this point, you're in it right now. You're going to turn around and you're going to do to Domínguez, unless they put him out and play him every day. You're going to do to him what they did to Peraza, and that's going to be that is a shame. Because they turned around, they made their bed by putting Volpe out there when Volpe was shit in the bed last year offensively, and he's still shit in the bed this year offensively. And they're running him out there every day, and they ran him into the ground now twice, 2 seasons in a row. They took their sweet time getting Austin Wells going. Then they got him going. Now he's hurt, but they still then played around with Austin Wells. So the actual better of the 3 prospects is down in AAA, and they're going to hold him down there. The best of the group, the best one of that group, they have no lane for him when he's better than the rest of them. He's better than the current guy there. So explain to me why the best of them is not playing and trying to help them get to the next level. Because that still blows my mind. I don't care about. I know the draft pick, but if the whole thing about the Yankees is it's championship or bust, then it ain't championship or bust when they're doing this.
By them doing this with Domínguez, bringing them up to the Cubs series, so you're prioritizing a draft pick over a championship.
Supplemental round draft pick is what they're doing.
Prioritizing a maybe over a certainty. That just it makes my head hurt. It really does.
I think the real barometer, because they're not sacrificing a championship during the regular season, because if we could get Domínguez up for the last 15, 20 games or whatever, and he makes an impact in the playoffs, then we're going to forget all this, and we're still going to have a first rounder next year. If J. Dom does perform within the top 3 of the American League voting for Rookie of the Year, right? So obviously there's a lot of discord with this, and there's a lot of frustration, and it makes complete sense considering how we see Verdugo and his perceived laziness, right? With running down the first baseline and not busting it out. But if we give J-Dom this 2-week lane after the Cubs series that you're hearing about, Mark, and he goes and makes an impact in those 2 weeks and then propels us to American League Championship, AL East Division, and then, a potential World Series run, like all this discourse is not going to mean anything. We're still going to have a first rounder. That's so just like devil's advocate, and we're still in a good spot. We're a half game behind Baltimore. We're right where we need to be. Everything's right in front of us, like Boone likes to say. Like, let's not forget about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm gonna have a little fun. Let's play a little game, guys. All right, I'm gonna give you some numbers, and you guys are gonna tell me who you guys think of these, what 3 Yankees these are. Okay, the choices are Grisham, Cabrera, or Verdugo.
Oh boy!
All right, who do you think has a WRC plus of 116?
Cabrera.
Grisham. Who
Yeah,
has
amount of
a?
games?
This is since June, just so you know. I'm gonna say this is all from June.
Oh,
this is all from June. Okay, this is all from June, not constant, not all. Okay, I'm not giving you a caveat. I'm not giving you a caveat. I'm just gonna give you a nice portion from that. Okay, this is all from June. WAR. This person had a negative 0.3 WAR.
definitely
I go Grisham.
Verdugo.
What Grisham? If Grisham has a 116 WRC plus, he's gonna have a positive 4.
Yeah.
And who has a 100 WAR?
That'd be.
I mean, a 100 WRC plus. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah,
That'd be
Cabrera.
Cabrera. Okay, so why? So my thing is this. Okay, is that I understand the debate on the Domínguez, and I get that one 100%. But now we have Trent. My complaint is we have Trent Grisham and we have Cabrera. Okay, more onto the whole Trent Grisham area where him and Verdugo are both, for before being Yankees, were both starters on organizations. Okay, they basically have similar pedigree, if you really want to put it that way. Okay, but yet throughout this whole entire frame, where you have Trent Grisham having a WRC plus of 116, a WAR of 0.8 versus Verdugo's 66 WRC plus and a negative 0.3 WAR. How is it that Verdugo is okay being a starter every day, yet we cannot have Trent Grisham out there and being considered to be a starter? I'm sorry. Like, let's be real. I'm not going to play the game on, okay, let's do Dominguez, because hey, that's a different game. I'm not going to get there. Okay, but we already know, I agree that Dominguez should be up here. But this is something that is already there. You even had the ability of putting Oswaldo Cabrera out there. Let him have a chance at it. Okay, let him play some games there. Let him go at it. I'm sorry, it's not just Dominguez we could put in there. We have options to put there, but yet they refuse to do anything about the option and continue putting out the same dull material. I'm sorry, I ain't gonna go to McDonald's every day when I have a freaking damn nice steakhouse across the street every now and then. I'm gonna have some steak too.
It's insanity.
It is.
And the thing is, Grisham comes off the bench and just hits grand slams like it's his job.
I have a question. Defensively, who would you rather have out there?
Trent.
Between those three.
Trent.
Yeah.
In left
Trent
field?
Grisham's a Gold Glover.
Trent.
Yep.
He's a
In
Golden
left
Glover.
field.
Yep.
He's a Golden
Over
Glover. He's
Verdugo.
an outfielder.
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy can't walk. I mean, he can walk. He can't run.
Right.
Kind of hard to play left field when you can't run, or any position for that matter.
Go ahead.
Okay. Do you think that Aaron Judge in center field and Grisham in left field would be better? Or would you prefer to have 2+ defenders in Grisham and Verdugo manning, the outfield?
I would say
I want to see how you guys feel about the outfield situation defensively.
I would say,
because obviously offensively it's mediocre from all three.
I would say you regress everybody to their natural positions. You put Trent in center, Judge back in right, and move Soto to the left. And be done with it.
And Yankee
But
Stadium?
that's not Soto. But that's not Soto's natural position. Is not left field.
Hey, we have a trend of putting people in positions that they aren't supposed to be playing in. So what are you gonna lose?
But you're contradicting your own thing that you just said.
Juan Soto was an athlete, dude. There is no doubt in my mind that man could not learn how to play left field in Yankee Stadium. They put Jazz Chisholm at third base, for Christ's sake, and he never played third base in his career.
He's a natural infielder, though. Clearly.
Okay.
Just by his movements. So the transition to center field is a lot harder for Jazz as opposed to moving to third base. Just because he's a natural infielder. He's played the left side of the infield before. So that's not a huge ask from a guy. Like, you moved A-Rod to third. Like, he was still an adequate third baseman from being a Gold Glove shortstop. And Jazz is turning out to be an adequate third baseman. And also, second base is his best position defensively.
Yeah, but you also got your Jazz is also, he's not just a infielder. He does do outfield as well. Let's be real. He's not going to do outfield now in Yankees.
But he's not a good outfielder. Period.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying he's done it though. He has done it.
Yeah, because he's a natural infielder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He is.
But the reason why I'm asking is because we brought up Cabrera, we brought up Grisham, right? If I could see a situation where you could start Cabrera in left field against certain righties, but like reverse splits and all that, like there's a lot that goes into that decision. But I think Aaron Boone is valuing Verdugo's defense in left as opposed to what Cabrera and Grisham could give us offensively.
But no. I actually like where you're going though, Danny. I do like where you're going there. But like, okay, but there's nothing. The great thing is that we're still in the season. It's not like it's playoffs yet. We still have 22 games to go. The team has 22 games to go to do something. So it's not like I'm objective, and I don't think anyone probably is going to object to, like, let's say, let's put Waldo out there for a series. Let's put Trent Grit out there for a series. Okay. Maybe it could be 2 series back to back. If that may be either, it's going to do one or two things for Verdugo. It's actually going to do 3 things. Let's be real. One, it's going to give him rest, and if that's what he does need, if it's rest that he does need, this will be need a rest. Okay, but 2, it's either going to kick that kick in his butt that he needs to actually get back in gear, or he's going to come back, not have that kick in the butt to actually do better. And the organization will know beforehand, before the playoffs kick in, and be like, well, that's what you're going to give us with this last stretch. I'm sorry, buddy. Waldo, Trent, congratulations. You got a playoff spot.
The thing I don't understand is that they're giving all this runway to a guy that they have no intention of bringing back in the offseason. That's the thing that's bananas to me.
You're right. No, I'll say there's a reason. There's a reason for that right now. Because remember a couple of years ago what happened at shortstop with IKF. IKF was clearly not the guy for shortstop, but they ran him out there, and then they would turn around and they lost him because they would start moving pieces around. They would put Cabrera out there in playoff spots, then they put Peraza out there, and we've talked at length about them, what they should and shouldn't have done. But they lost IKF that season. And that in those playoffs, because he was never the same again. And I think they figured out they don't want to have that fear of losing Verdugo. As much as I don't care, and I'd rather just get me J-Dom and put him out there, because you lived with the pros and cons of Volpe for an entire season at shortstop. You're living with everything with Wells. You've already made that bed, and now you're not going to do it for the best of the 3. That's the part that makes no sense to me. But at the flip side of the coin, I do understand that if their thought is, well, what if J-Dom comes up and doesn't go? Now we lost J-Dom. Then we lost Verdugo as well. So because don't forget, one of the main things about the Yankees is that they value veterans over rookies 90% of the time. And I'm saying 90 as opposed to 100 because of what they just showed you with an Anthony Volpe and what they showed you with an Austin Wells. But that's the thought process from what I've read, is that they don't want to lose Verdugo for the postseason in case Jasson Domínguez comes up and shits the bed.
Yeah,
it kind of makes sense, but
it does make sense. But that's why my whole not advice, but like my whole thought process argument, of like having Waldo or even Trent do a series, or it's not putting into the area of, oh, let's bring up J-Dom, because you know what? Maybe that is the call. I'm not going to say that is the call, is it? But like I will say, work with what we have already. And we already have a Trent Grisham. We already have Waldo there. We could put him in there for a series or 2, put the guy down, get his head back into gear, and then guess what? Playoff kicks in. And if this guy goes into a damn hot streak in the playoffs, that might be all we need.
Yeah. Another option would just be putting Trent in center full time, because Aaron Judge metrically in center field is not good.
So you're gonna put him, and where you're gonna put Judge in left?
I don't like Judge in left either.
I don't like him in left either. I don't like him there either. But I would rather have him in the left compared to freaking having Soto in left.
And I think Grisham and Verdugo are a wash, like offensively. Like you're gonna get the same amount the same production. Obviously, you pointed out the June 1st numbers, and Grisham
June to now.
Yeah, has obviously outperformed Verdugo, but I think in the same amount of stretch, the same amount of at bats, you may not get like a 63 WRC from Grisham, but I think from each guy you may get like a 90 at best. Like Verdugo's best year in the big leagues, OPS plus wise. Actually, Grisham's best time in the big leagues was 2020, and 250 at bats. He had 123 OPS plus. And ever since then, but he did it. He did it, and he won a Gold Glove. Another one Gold Glove in San Diego. But he's a 88, 80 OPS plus guy, and Verdugo has been traditionally 100. He's been big league average, and he gives you positive defense. The fact that Verdugo is struggling offensively and not hustling, it's put an eyesore for sure. And he deserves it because he's not performing. But my question is like, do we take the chance to have like Oswaldo out there on a daily basis and left and not get, he get overexposed, like.
But he doesn't have to be
I
every
don't know.
day. Why not turn around and make a point? Make a point with it. And to say, they benched Glaber. It took Boone a long time to do it because you saw time and time again that Glaber wasn't that dude. But they did it. Mm-hmm. There's no currency in the bank for with Verdugo. Like Verdugo was brought in this year. It's not like Verdugo has been here for 6 years where you kind of have the rapport with him. Like, yo, Glaber, this doesn't look good. We need you to move on. Hey, we need you to do this type of thing, and I can get through to him because I've managed him for quite some time. This is a 1-year thing. Verdugo can be put on the bench and be made an example of.
Mm-hmm.
So
Verdugo was only brought here because Jadon was hurt.
Verdugo was brought here because Aaron Judge wanted him here, and Aaron Judge has come out and said, "I've wanted him for a while."
But they made the trade after Domínguez had his surgery.
They had surgery.
Doesn't matter. We
surgery like a long time before.
We already had Trent Grisham at that point too.
Yeah. No, well, they all came around the same time.
They all came at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. But think about if let's be real.
It was like days apart though. All that
exactly. It was days apart. But like, let's be real for a minute, okay? If we would have known that we were gonna, let's say the Soto deal happens before the Verdugo deal. I don't remember correctly. I think it might have been the Verdugo deal happened first. But if it would have been that way, there was no point to get Verdugo then because we already had Trent Grisham. It's just that getting Trent Grisham was like a little bit of a little icing on the cake. Realistically, it's like, oh, we got a little
Verdugo came about 2 days before Grisham and Soto.
See, exactly. So it was like we had a little icing on the cake at that point, the team. But instead of using that icing correctly, they've been using it as a fault. Like, let's be real. They've been like, oh, you know what? Oh, that's right. I forgot I had this in the back of the cabinet. Let's go out there and play the game. Instead of like using it like, let's say, oh, well, shit. Let's swap it out a little bit today, guys. Like, I have no understanding why the team has so much commitment towards Verdugo, which is, let's be real, he was a Red Sox. So it's not like he was a Yankee. It's not like he came up with a Yankee organization. It's still a trade. It's still someone that's not outside the organization. And yet, for some reason, for like this $8.7 million he's been playing for this season, oh, that's the reason we're gonna have trust with him. I'm sorry, it's not worth it.
Honestly, Alex, you brought up a great point. I think using Grisham and Cabrera in that capacity in left field, not having to play Verdugo every day, I think in retrospect, that's the best option that we could have taken because I think Oswaldo could have been okay in left field. He's not going to give you plus defense like Verdugo, but offensively, he gives you a spark. And I think the Yankees do need that on a more consistent basis. Like, the infield is obviously set up right now with Jazz and the way Glaber's performing and Rizzo's coming back. Like, if there's a spot for Cabrera to get more ABs, it's left field. Mm-hmm. So I'm completely on board with that.
And then think about it for a minute, okay? Like, let's be real. Yes, is there going to be a defensive hiccup happening or anything like that? Yeah, but let's also be real. It's not like everyone out there in the league is hitting homers out there, okay? It's not like that at all, okay? Yankees are doing it. Why? Because let's be real. We are the Bronx Bombers. That's what we're known for, okay? Every team's going to have that one guy or one or two guys that's going to probably hit a home run, but we have also pitching that could counteract their hitters.
No, in theory,
pitching's been
starters. Let's say starters, not
starting pitching, not Clay Holmes.
Hey, the starters haven't, maybe not Nestor.
Nestor and Stroman, they've both been.
Yeah,
Stroman has been good. No, Stroman has been good. He got screwed over yesterday, but he has been good as of late. Let's be real.
Yeah, like they go through these trends. This is part of baseball.
Let's be real. Like what? 4 games before that, he was doing really. It was
for sure.
Game. And then this game right now, he has a hiccup. Okay,
yeah,
it happens.
Yeah.
I'm not. We all know it's Stroman. This is not like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a freaking like a Nolan Ryan type of guy going out there and like that. This is going to be,
this isn't the Stroman of when he was with Toronto Blue Jays.
No. And this brings up the point with Rodon and how important he is.
Yes.
Like, if Rodon didn't have this type of season and he was a little bit more linear like this, like, and he cemented himself as like a legit number 2, he's shown flashes of being that guy. But I think we all feel better if Rodon's trajectory was like that, like on the way up. I mean, and it kind of is, but it's taken a while to get here. Like, you know, that 6-start stretch where he was just absolutely like, oh my God, just terrible. And I think he had like a 9 ERA. But like now he's trying to find himself. If we get Garrett Cole, Rodon, and I prefer a Clark Schmidt in a Game 3 situation. I think he's a bulldog type of guy. Yeah. And if we're on the road in a Game 3 situation, whether it be Houston or wherever, I feel comfortable with Clark Schmidt on the bump. So with that scenario,
we're gonna rope this back into the bullpen.
Yeah.
That means we're comfortable with Luis Gil being your 9th inning guy. Because obviously at that point you can't have Clay Holmes in your 9th inning because it's just too much volatility for him. And he
kind of want to see what he does as a starter though in the postseason, man. I want to see him in both roles.
I understand.
I know you can't.
Dave, I understand where you're coming from, but
he's just so damn good, and I don't know if you want to just.
Yeah, but at that point, you gotta really limit those innings because he's maxing out, and you can see what's happening to him.
I know.
I will have to not be on your side on that one, Dave, because I said it about 3 months. I'm not 3 months, about a month ago. I want Luis Gil as our closer. That's
I do too. I just would love to see him as a starter in the postseason. I said it
about a month ago, maybe even longer, but that's who I want as our closer. I understand we don't want that. Some people want him to be a starter, the starter and everything like that, but I want him to be the closer for this reason. He's young. We have control over him, and then that means this team could have a closer for a very, very long time. It could be. I say it. It could be if Luis Gil could be that closer. It could be the second coming of a freaking damn, Umbo life, having a freaking good closer.
Don't forget. You take him from now. You don't have to put him you don't have to put him as a closer. You can put him as your setup guy, and then it lengthens that bullpen a little bit. Then you can mix and match at that point. You can put a Kane Lee there behind him at the 9th inning because Luis Gil has turned around, taken on possibly the hardest people, and because he's had the ability to do that as a starter and knew how to work this around.
I could also be okay with be a closer.
I could also be okay with him being, like you said, the setup man. And oh my gosh, the game's tie into the 9th inning. Instead of bringing the closer out, Luis, you're going back out there again because you already know how to be a starter anyway.
Yeah, he's built up for at least 5 innings.
All right.
Going from a starter, Professor Daniel.
Well, no, but like I actually have insight because I'm not at a big league level. I'm not even gonna say that.
Breaking your balls. Relax.
I've done it. Gone from starting to pitching, and I wish
I was referring to your half glass full type of scenario.
Well, yeah, that's always gonna be me. Man. Always. That's never gonna change. But my thing with Gil, right, is it's extremely difficult to get into a routine after being a starter to going into pitching with the mentality to be there every day. I think he's got kind of like that. Once he finds that routine and he finds out how to be a reliever, he'll be in a good spot. But I don't think that's his long-term thing, just based on what we've seen the past couple of years. I think long-term he's what we've been looking for a really long time and being a solid top 3 starter in baseball, which is extremely hard to find, right? So I think in this situation, which is extremely unique, like we saw Chris Sale close out games for the Red Sox in 2018, right? Like I could see the same thing.
Bumgarner for the Giants too.
I can see the same thing happening, but he needs to be ready and he has to have a plan. He needs to be prepared. And I think now's the perfect time to kind of start that transition. And like you said, it doesn't have to be in a closing situation September, like after this next start, right? I think it has to be a situation to where he's, no runners on.
Starts the fresh inning.
Starts a fresh inning. We have like a 4 or 5 run lead, right? Like, ease him into it because he's still a young kid and he's still got to learn the routine.
Well, don't forget
that's my issue.
Yeah. So don't forget this. So this weekend tonight, you got the following things. You got Gil starting, I think, tomorrow, Schmidt on Saturday, and then you got Cole going on Sunday. Then so Nestor's being skipped this weekend because it was one of those was Nestor's spot, and he's being bumped.
He's going to pitch against the Red Sox.
Right, but what I'm saying is he got bumped back. So at some point they're going to have to make their decision on Gil and Schmidt. And the best thing probably for the long term and short term is to move Gil into the bullpen at that point because it saves his arm, saves those innings that he was on, and allows him to, like Danny said, begins to learn that routine. And he's got guys there that can kind of teach him that routine. Hey, this is what I do every day. Let's just kind of go through this. Yeah, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think having a veteran down there, Dave, you've been on Tommy Kahnle all year, and I'm starting to warm up to the idea. Honestly,
I love the guy.
Nails. He's been nails. Tommy Tight Pants. I like. At first, I wasn't. At first, I wasn't on board. Yeah,
he's a little bit of a head case sometimes, but he's a phenomenal reliever. I've always liked him.
You gotta be a head case to be a reliever.
You have to be. But I think out of Weaver, Cousins, Kahnle, right? Obviously, matchups are kind of dependent on that. But if it's lefty heavy, like go to Tommy Kahnle, that changeup, right, in the 9th inning. I think he could get the job done. But in terms of like duels, like in terms of splits, like I think Luke Weaver and Jake Cousins have the best chance to get Ks and not put the ball on the ground, outside of Tommy Kahnle. So like, oh man, who do you guys want to close outside of Clay Holmes?
Anybody that can get 3 outs and not give up bombs.
It's a committee by this point. At this point, you can't have the sole closer. But so Danny played devil's advocate before. I want to play the little devil's advocate too with Clay Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
You know who gave up the most blown saves last year?
Oh, and yeah, Class A.
Yep, and he's considered the best closer in the game. So
yeah.
so like take it for what it's worth. I mean, this season ain't Clay Holmes' year. So maybe when he gets a new team next year, maybe it's going to be a different ballgame for him.
I mean, he was like this last year too. It's not like this is the first year that it's happened. He was rough. We went
through all this with the Aroldis Chapman also. We had Chapman back there, and he went through a stretch. I mean, he went through earlier in the season than Clay Holmes does. He went through it earlier where he would kind of start blowing saves in like June, like end of May through June, and then they go, oh well, it's going to be committee, and he kind of works himself back in, and boom, he's done. He's back in the closer spot.
It's not the first time. When Girardi was here, he relieved them of his closing duties.
Well, because Girardi got the ball. Girardi had balls, which Aaron Boone obviously doesn't have.
Forget which year.
Yeah, I mean, Joe didn't play around.
No, Joe Girardi don't care. Joe Girardi was brought in because Joe Torre was too much of the nice guy, and they needed a hard guy that got in there and whip everybody into shape. Then when he whipped everyone into shape too hard, they needed the nice guy back in Aaron Boone, and Aaron Boone was like super softy, nice guy.
Let's be real. Joe Torre had teams that he barely had to freaking manage. All those dudes knew what they were doing on a day in and day out basis.
That's not the right way to say it. Joe Torre was not the manager.
I'm talking.
Joe Torre was never the guy to be like the manager because it discredits the two people that he had next to him who deserve a lot of the credit. Yeah, because Joe Torre wasn't that dude. Wasn't this almighty manager showing up at the Yankees' footsteps? He was the guy that was like under 500 manager. That everyone wondered, what the hell are you doing getting this guy in here? And that's not knocking Joe Torre, but that's the truth. And Joe Torre supposedly after the 5 years, because he was there for 10 years, after 5 years, he mailed it in, supposedly. Mm-hmm. Like that's what books have been written about, saying he kind of just mailed it in, just kind of resting on his laurels and kind of just rock and roll.
Yep. Yeah. But I also don't think it's fair to say that Joe Torre didn't manage, like, to manage those egos, it takes a special person to do that.
Well, Joe Torre had to manage, knew how to manage George Steinbrenner better than most important.
Yeah, exactly.
Because George Steinbrenner was still the manic George Steinbrenner at that point.
Ego thing he had to manage was like from 04 to 2007 or 07 when he left. Sorry, yeah.
Well, 06 actually, 06.
The biggest ego out of everybody, like
7 was his last year.
Yeah, the biggest ego, like Mark just said, was George Steinbrenner. Like, like without a doubt, the fact that he kept George away from the team and those guys played for Joe Torre, that not everybody could do that.
Yeah.
So we gotta give him credit.
Yes, I'm not dogging Joe Torre, but all I'm saying is like Joe Torre was not the exalted and almighty Joe Torre.
Exactly. No. And the fact that he had balls to say no to George, even with having that record, like that's why he's a Hall of Famer. Because of that, and what he did after the 5 years, like it's up to him. I don't know how he could rest his head on his pillow after that, but hey, he won his championships. He did his thing. Game over.
Got numb.
But let's get back on track here. What were we just talking about? But prior to that,
I don't know. We talked about how soft Aaron Boone was. How he didn't have the ball for Torres, but I want to bring us up to our last topic for tonight. Kind of John, I want to talk about Giancarlo Stanton. 25 home runs for 10 years in 10 years, or for 10 years, I should say. He's at 427 home runs in total.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The magic number for power hitters is 500. So he's got a shot at. He's in the window of hitting 500 home runs.
If he stays healthy, sure.
Well, he's not always going to stay healthy, but he's there. I mean,
he's in the window. Yeah.
He's in the window. It's easy enough. I mean, 4 seasons of 25 home runs you're there, and he'll really technically only needs 3 seasons of 25 home runs. So he's in the window. Question is though, is he a Hall of Famer? Take it around the horn, Alex. You've been quiet for a bit. I'll give it to you first because you got to see him a lot more up close and personal down south there.
Yes, he's a freaking Hall of Famer. I'm sorry. Like, okay, yeah, he's not the guy that he used to be, 1000%. But like the numbers don't lie. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't have them in front of me right now to tell you, but like from when I remember, like they're not bad numbers that he's had. He's had Hall of Fame numbers that throughout his career. He was legitimately the team carrying the Marlins. Okay, throughout his whole career when he was in South Florida, he was carrying that team. Yes, there were other players on that team as well, but he was the captain before we had our captain, and he was already used to being a captain down there. And then he came up here, and he's like, "Okay, cool. I don't gotta be a captain no more. That's your job, Aaron Judge. I'm just here now to be a follower." But let's be real. Like he's been doing it, and he's been doing his job well. And like, yes, he's been injury prone. We know this. We all know this. But when he's on, fucking hey, guys, this man is on fire. He is hitting that ball, and it sounds like it's coming out of a cannon. Okay? Like, legitimately, sometimes I'm watching the game, and it's like, I'm like, whoa, was there a gunshot at the stadium? And it was just Giancarlo hitting a bomb. Like, come on, guys. If anyone out there who really wants to say Giancarlo shouldn't be a Hall of Famer, and I'm not gonna say first ballot Hall of Famer, that's probably not gonna be it. But like at least like maybe second year, third year, he should definitely be in the Hall of Fame because he's had a storybook career for his lifetime. Okay, and at his size as well. Like, let's be real, people his size, they go in for a couple of years and then they drop down. Not many continue going for a long period straight, and it's not like, oh, I was a pitcher only, and so the only thing I did was pitch. Oh, this guy was out there fielding and batting, and then still to this day, still fielding and batting, but not at the same capacity that he used to field. Go ahead, Danny.
And I think it's a Hall of Famer too. And Alex, you made one of the points I was going to make was that his longevity, the fact that he's 34 and he's still putting up 25 home runs. But let's look at the black ink, and that's like a big thing for voters. He's led the league in homers twice. He's led the league in RBIs. He's led the league in slugging 3 separate times. He's led the league in OPS plus as well. He's got an MVP, 2-time Silver Slugger, 5-time All-Star. He's won the home run derby. He's a preeminent home run hitter of our lifetime. He's even won an All-Star Game MVP, right? Now, if he just inches over 500, if he gets like 503, yeah. So if he just inches, if he just gets like a 503 homers or just falls short, then maybe not. But if I could see him hitting 510, 515 homers at the end of his career, and he'll get that Hall of Fame plaque in Cooperstown because he's deserved it. And this is Hall of Fame level stuff that we see from him because not everybody who came up at 20 is still able to perform at the level he's doing it at 34. What's going to hurt him is the fact that he's a DH only, right? People are going to use that against him, and the fact that he has
David Ortiz and Edgar Martinez, man.
Right, but they set the standard, right? They set the standard.
What I'm saying is they both got in.
Above and beyond.
So.
Right, and I'm agreeing with you, and I'm saying they set the standard.
Yeah.
To being like this is what Hall of Fame DHs look like, right?
Yeah, but don't forget. But as you said, but Danny, as you said before, he won the MVP as a fielder, which kind of he's skewed a little bit differently because he did do a lot of things as an everyday player, not just the DH.
Mm-hmm.
Right. At one last point, he's got a 963 OPS in the postseason. He's got a 635 slug in the postseason with 11 home runs. The dude shows up when the time you need him the most, he's there. In that AL wild card series in 2020 against Cleveland or against Tampa Bay, that's probably his best postseason series. 4 homers, 10 RBIs. He had a 1381 OPS in that series, which he's ultimately lost. But it wasn't because of what Giancarlo did, and he's just been clutch. And I'm here for Giancarlo Stanton making it to Cooperstown in like his second or third try.
Dave?
I pretty much agree. I mean, Danny took the words right out of my mouth, actually. I mean, yeah, Silver Slug, All-Star, over 1,500 hits, knocking on the door of 500 home runs. Over a 15-year period, his career OPS is 873 and a 527 slug. I mean, the only thing he's missing is a World Series, and it's a wrap. It's going to be definitely interesting to see how I don't want to put this in wrong terms, but you see how like the Hall of Fame criteria is slowly starting to change a little bit, even though they're still voting on guys that played back when we were kids getting in. So it's going to be interesting to see what is considered Hall of Fame criteria by the time like Mike Trout, Giancarlo, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, all these guys, day comes to be voted on. So it's going to be definitely interesting to see how it plays out. But in my book, he's a Hall of Famer. Like I said, the only thing he's missing is a World Series ring, and it's a wrap. So,
no, everyone said the same. I think he
500 home runs ain't easy, man. I mean, shit.
But he gets 500, he's in. That's what I'm saying. He gets 500, he's in. If he doesn't make 500,
and
I don't think he goes in if he doesn't make the 500. But he gets 500, he's in.
And he was still playing in what was his rookie year? 2010. He was still playing in Dolphin Stadium for the first 2 years of his career. Marlins Park didn't open up until 2012. So he played for his first 2 years in Dolphin Stadium, hitting home runs. And that's not easy to do. Yeah, as Mike Stanton. We're like, yo, Mike Stanton retired. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, to hit bombs in Dolphin Stadium back then, that was not easy. That was a pretty cavernous football stadium. So
yeah, I mean, you were legitimately hitting a damn home run in a football field. That's just
yes.
Exactly what you're doing.
And those 2 years, he hit what? 22 and 34 home runs in a football stadium. I mean, that's pretty bananas.
So I do want to. I just came down to like the Hall of Fame stats on Baseball Reference. Obviously the Giancarlo's peak wasn't great in terms of total numbers due to the injuries, but his 7-year peak WAR, obviously cumulative thing, 35.1 in his 7-year peak. His career WAR is 44.8. Obviously, that goes towards the lack of defense that he's provided. But he's average of 4.4 WAR. The average Hall of Famer out of the 28 current Hall of Famers in the outfield, right? A 71.1 career WAR. Their 7-year peak, 42.4. Their Jaws, 56.7, and their WAR, they average 5.1. So he's like at this point in time on the cusp. But I think that round number of 500 gets him in there, and everything else. And the black ink, he's 20. He's got 21. He's led the league in 21 categories. Average Hall of Famers got 27. So, he's right there. He's on the cusp at this moment in time. But 500, I think he, without a doubt, gets him in.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next Thursday. We play the Cubs Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we got the Red Sox. So keep it locked. Hopefully our guys can figure out how to win baseball games again, and life will be great. So see you next Thursday.